Hello everyone, I hope you are well. I'm glad you're attending this YouTube video after the due time, but I didn't set the due time. Here, now I am uploading a video with great news. So as you can see, the FTMO challenge swing account I was doing was passed in both phases. So verification and challenge. So that's what I wanted to share with you and talk about it in this YouTube video where you can hear more about it in detail, how I approach the market and everything else, how to think, is psychology important? Is it important discipline more than technical analysis or something like that? So that's what I'm going to talk about now. Here, first, for those who do not know what a prop firm is or what FTMO is, I will now briefly explain. FTMO is a prop firm that offers you a maximum deposit of $200,000 or 160,000 euros, where you can profit on a monthly, annual, multi-annual, weekly basis, etc., where you need to test yourself first, making in the first stage 10%, which is called challenge, and in the second stage, which is called verification, a total of 5%, making a total percentage value of 15%. Now I want to talk about all this, and I hope here I can only move this to say also verification. I want to start by talking about percentages and the percentage value, which in the end actually leads to certainty. It's that in general, when you look at traders around the world where most of them lose it, so when you look at it, 99, actually 9% of people lose, and I think even that statistic that says 90% of people lose is incorrect at 10% profitable. I think 10% is a pretty big percentage for this business, and I think a lot less people are actually making money. What it is, it's about experience and it's about approach and the very perception of long-termism. So the experience that is lived for years, the long term, which is the same every day, because if there is a trend of your long term, it must be a straight line. It just has to be in an uptrend, not in a downtrend, which says what? That straight line actually shows your psychological state, your lack of oscillations during trading, which is very important both psychologically and technically. A lot of messages I often get are related to whether I have tried one type of strategy, whether I have tried another trip strategy, etc. I can tell you that I am a long way from trying to strategize. Trying is actually the worst thing. It is best to focus on one unique work that will have a long duration through experience and thus form many hours of your observation of one thing that is exactly the same, and through that experience you become invincible. That experience lasts a long time. The experience lasts for many years. For some, it lasts maybe a year. I have students who have succeeded within 8 or 9 months, but it usually takes longer. It lasts maybe more than a year. For some, it lasts 5 years. For others, 4 years. Just a learning experience. It depends on whether he actually succeeds or not. Most people try for the first year, and then they feel that they know very much that now, if they are not profitable after a year, that they should be profitable. In fact, they do not understand that 1 year is actually a young trader, because the doctor who is at the faculty and who only studied for 1 year, he's not even a doctor. He didn't even start. He actually just finished 1 year. So it's similar here. It is actually necessary to form that one long term and understand that the moment you start working, you encounter a length of duration which is not much different from other durations of any learning. So that is one of the first reasons. Another thing that is very important to understand is that when you start learning, you can automatically, actually an experienced trader can automatically recognize inexperienced traders, and you can understand at the start whether there is validity in the course of your learning to a certain place or not, based on what? if promises like 10% per month or 15% per month daily to beginners are like that, it's a marketing gimmick, and it's mostly used to attract people en masse to they learn in different places, and you have to keep in mind that you should always avoid it. Therefore, high percentage values are in the course of a large long-term, in fact, after a long time of success and work, very impressive and can be of a high quality percentage, which would be enough if it were 5% on a monthly basis. However, if it is a much larger percentage, especially beginners who cannot so easily profit a lot at the start, then any marketing tricks should be avoided further. The third thing that is very important to understand is that scalping trader and swing trader are two different things. These are two different terms that have nothing to do with similarity. The only similarity between scalping trading and swing trading is that they both deal with an algorithm, so they both track maybe similar currencies or something. However, the difference in discipline, in psychology, in technical analysis, and in the very volume of price movement, actually the volume of money movement is completely different. Not to mention fundamental analysis when it comes to swing trading or scalping trading. If you are a scalper, if you engage in scalping trading, your chance of success is greatly reduced. And this is mostly what people do at the very beginning. So they mostly engage in scalping trading, where they use minimum time frames without using larger time frames of the wider picture, but using only narrower images of smaller time frames. In this way, your trading loses its meaning and the possibility of success is small if you approach the market in this way. So you need to understand that swing trading is actually the best way of trading, where you always observe a larger time frame. Of course, you can see exactly the same picture on the 5-minute time frame as on the 1-minute time frame, so that people are not too fooled with that. Here I'm going to give an example on Google, which was tracked a lot earlier. So we can find it now in this 1-day time frame. So I'm going to show you one of the algorithms that was quite similar on a larger as well as a smaller time frame. Now we are going to look only at which time frame it would be in question, actually where it is specifically located. You can spot this algorithm here now. This is about phase E, which should eventually form an uptrend in order to exceed the previous liquidity, with the fact that here there is an order block, which is actually a mitigation block, which is part of the wipe off of the bigger picture. And later in the course of that mitigation block, there is phase E again. This is actually the first phase, the second phase, the third phase as a consolidation at the lowest level, below 50% of the pre-thorn order block, later impulsiveness, which most often forms phase E before the actual transfer of more liquidity. And then this part right here is actually a horror picture that was followed later as a reaccumulation that I trade often. So it is a 1-day time frame in question. And if we look at a 5-minute time frame, we will see exactly the same picture at a 5-minute time frame. So 1-day time frame, 5-minute time frame show the same picture here. So you don't have to worry too much about high time frames and think that it's a completely different image or something completely different. In fact, the most important thing is the amount of pips in the stop loss zone that you follow, and that way you can know whether it is a swing trade or a scalp trade. By the amount of pips or by the amount of shares, actions, in this case, the stocks market, with the fact that in the last year, I have been much more a stocks trader than a forex trader, and that is the reason why I actually started to finish the FTMO prop company. With that they most often offer the stock market. Another thing, they are very poorly advertised and do not offer too many different things that make them safe. They do not offer excessive discounts and so on. I really like that. So FTM, this is the best prop company in the world, and I definitely recommend it to everyone. It's a pretty tough prop firm to deposit with that offers a lot of percentages, and people generally look when they deposit a prop firm to get an account that's 10 or 60 cheaper, and just see how much that affects that cheapening on people to choose quality, to choose quantity, not quality. So that's what I'm telling you, $6, $10 or $100 or $100 and so on. Very little difference in the course of taking the challenge when you're really sure. The fourth thing or the fifth thing that is very important to emphasize, and I hope you stayed until this part to listen because everything is very important. The fourth thing that is very important is that when you are starting a prop firm and when, say, you want to focus on an account that is smaller. For example, I placed an order of 160,000 euros, not from $200,000, but from 160,000 euros. But you have in the FTMU prop firm to choose whether it will be the Czech crown, whether it will be the euro, whether it will be the dollar, and so whether it will be the pound. I chose euros with the fact that I mainly withdraw money in Europe, and the priority of that was the FTMU swing account, where the leverage is 1 to 30. The reason for leaving trades during the weekend and using stocks, using indices, using futures, using agriculture, using forex, and so on, that's all the stuff you need to talk about. Bring a calculator when starting a prop firm. If you are a trader who trades for 3 months, trades for 2 months, there is no need to start with any account because you are probably not sure and cannot succeed immediately. It takes a certain amount of time, which is actually not much when you look at it. So you don't have to worry too much about that part. Just relax, work, and study. Well, I'm glad to share this great news with you. This is my sixth account so far that has been successfully placed, with my Forex funds being a prop firm that is currently closed. All accounts are frozen. I had 3 accounts there in total, and this is a case that could never happen when it comes to FTMU. This is exactly the reason for buying an FTMU account. I basically already have a regular account in FTMU, but this is currently Swing, one of my most favorite accounts, and I'm very happy about it. And I am glad to share this great news with you. I expect that this will give you enough self-confidence for greater success, for effort, for work. Simply to understand that the main priority is discipline and disciplinary progress. I wish you all the best and see you in the next YouTube video. All the best. Greetings.